When I first started collecting samples, I never thought about organization. I was just excited. Every new pack felt like it could be the missing piece for my next track. Over time, though, that excitement led to chaos, and I quickly ended up with over 50 gigabytes of samples, completely unorganized, sitting in one giant, disgusting folder.
Stop it. Get some help.
The real wake-up call came when I started picking up standalone music gear. Moving samples to these new devices forced me to actually look through my sample library, and it was a disaster. Instead of feeling inspired, I felt overwhelmed, and before I could even think about making music, I knew I needed to fix my sample situation. But sitting in front of my computer for like 16 hours straight, listening to every single sound one by one, I don't think that's going to be an option. I needed to figure out a smarter solution, and I came up with a system that would help me filter through thousands of sounds a little bit more efficiently without wasting days of creative time. Spoiler alert, I did have to go through every sound one by one though.
Play this record as frequently as possible.
So first, I thought about my end goal. My main production environment is Ableton Live, so whatever I built needed to be fully compatible with Ableton Live. And ideally, I wanted to organize drum rack presets and have them all ready to go. But I also wanted to access the raw WAV files in case I needed them. WAV is the most compatible with the things that I use, so I think WAV is going to be enough. So this is where Ableton Note came in. It's a small mobile app that only costs like $6, and for this project, it was an absolute game changer. Note made it insanely fast to build drum racks from my samples that were existing. I just imported all the samples and then built the racks in a new set. And then when I exported the racks by basically linking up Note and Ableton Live and then just opening the rack with all the sets, all the samples were there, the raw samples imported with the set, and it was exactly what I needed because I also had the drum racks. So using Ableton Note, I started creating multiple racks for several different categories. A couple of snare racks, a couple of kick racks, percussion racks, and so on. I didn't worry about making the perfect drum rack by any means. The idea was just to group sounds that I already liked, and then I could quickly grab them when I needed them. So basically, one track, one drum rack would work for kicks, and so on. Now, once I had my racks and samples exported, the next step was simple. I just created some brand new folders based on the racks I had built, and every sound was categorized and easy to find. And overall, I had really weeded out a lot of my sample library. As you go through and download these different libraries, you'll find that a lot of the sounds are pretty similar, if not exactly the same. So pick the best one you like, ditch all the others, and you'll thank me for it later. Now, the real beauty of this system is just how much faster it makes building new custom kits. Instead of searching through 50 gigabytes of random sounds or being locked into the sounds that someone else has made in a kit, now I have the best versions of each sound that I prefer, and they're all ready to go in an easy to access folder. Now my workflow is smoother, my beats sound better, and I waste a lot less time. And overall, in each folder, there's maybe 50 samples to go through. So that's not too bad when you think about it. And loading them up as a rack in Ableton Live really gives me a lot of creative flexibility because I can simply change the MIDI note to change the entire sound. And I can sample 16 sounds. Well, heck, even as many racks as I have, I just keep loading them up. And yeah, I really love working like that, to be honest with you. Now, one important note pun intended. This method works best for one-shot samples like drums and percussion. When it came to loops and longer samples, Ableton Note was not useful at all. It really struggles with previewing these longer files, and so for those, I just had to go on Ableton Live, sit on my computer, and listen to everything manual one by one. But I was able to create some basic categorized folders, and I didn't spend time building racks. It was kind of useless. These are like drum loops or melodic samples. It took a little bit longer, but overall it was still very worth it. Now, in the end, organizing my samples wasn't just about cleaning up a messy folder. It was about reclaiming my creativity. It made it a lot easier to load sounds onto my new gear, and it made producing music in my most comfortable setting that much more comfortable and efficient. It really made it easier to stay focused on what actually matters, and that's making music. Now, if you use a different DAW like FL Studio, Logic, Maschine, MPC, you might want to research their native structures for building kits or like how you save sounds or collections. But whatever you use, trust me, taking the time to organize and invest in your workflow with the samples that you've already spent hours collecting, it will just save you hours and hours of frustration down the road. So thanks for listening. Now go clean up your sample folder and get back to making beats. Peace.
Play this record as frequently as possible.